As you probably already know, ranked mode is finally out in Valorant. However, I keep hearing the same thing from players, and the general consensus is that they're struggling. To help you start performing more and have more impact in each and every game, let's go over the biggest top 5 mistakes and actionable tips that is sure to help you improve right away. If you want to improve at Valorant or just love Valorant content, smash that subscribe button. But enough of all that, let's just jump right into it, shall we? So, kicking off with the first tip, this has to do with pushing in when you have numbers advantage, especially on attack. If you have numbers advantage, if your team gets first pick, you need to push together with your team. This is because you can use Peeker's advantage and swing through trying to secure kills and at least force the trade, which is favorable for you. Too often do players not do this, not only in this game, but any FPS. Funnel in one by one and die to multiple angles. You effectively play into an enemy's positioning advantage if you don't leverage your numbers advantage to take a point. Do not let your teammates push alone, and if your teammates are pushing in front of you and they die to someone hiding in the corner, it is 100% your job to punish that player. Swing in together. If you have numbers advantage, push and press your advantage. That is how you use your advantage to be more aggressive, to take points, capture points, and win the game. Please do not get 1 pick, 2 pick, 3 pick, and then all of a sudden funnel in one at a time and you give their opper free shots on you or their SMG guy hiding in the corner multiple kills. Don't do this. Now moving on to the next big mistake that players often make, and if you watch any high-level footage, you watch any high-level streamers, you know this to be true, but the average player doesn't value skill orbs. However, high-level players will fight for space and use resources to control and capture these skill orbs. Now you might be asking, why would you even do that? Why does this matter? Well, frankly, ultimates win games. And if you funnel 3 skill orbs into one raise, they're gonna have rocket launcher double as fast as an enemy raise, even if they've gotten no kills. But if you keep funneling your ultimates into the proper players on your team, they could have ultimates exponentially fast. Some high-level players will even go out of their way in small duos or squads to secure orbs and then rendezvous back with their team. That being said, I know I said to value orbs, but here's some big takeaways if you want to start capturing orbs. The first thing you need to understand is you need to value them, but understand that the sound it makes is identifiable to enemies. It should never, ever be a solo mission to capture an orb because the fact that enemies can push up to you and punish you for trying. You can also set up tactics to bait enemies. If you want to potentially fake a grab orb, they'll hear the sound, but you're going to instantly stop it and punish them. That's a way that you can get value out of the noise and trick the enemy. Now on the flip side, if you go with a team member or a team member is trying to secure an orb, realize that enemies might peek him and it's your job to punish them, okay? Watch your allies back if they're trying to secure an orb. Now moving on to the next actionable tip that we have for you. If you're on defense, please stop being so quick to rotate. A huge aspect of Valorant as a whole is pushing in, baiting out enemy utility, and potentially rotating after the fact because they don't have as many abilities. The second you see an ability to fire on the other side of the map, don't be so quick to rotate. This could be a bait that leaves one side completely open, and once they plant, you're in an inherent disadvantage taking the site. On top of this, realize that just because you see a spike holder pushing a point doesn't mean that the whole team is stacked there. Sometimes split pushes or lurkers just wait to catch quick rotators and get some free kills because you're running across the map making tons of noise. And see, if you ever died to someone that you thought was in a completely random place, sometimes you get really frustrated. But as this happened to me, I realized that even at the higher levels, players are doing this where they're really waiting for people to rotate really quickly and they're getting so much free value and free impact, basically because no one expects them to be in these places and no one expects these lurk pushes or split pushes. Now moving on to the mistake number 4, when you're planting a spike, you want an easy line of sight from the positioning you plan on holding and contesting. Far too many people will accidentally give their enemies unnecessary cover when trying to defuse a spike if you were the planter. While you may be afraid of getting killed, so you use natural cover to plant your spike, realize that you also give an enemy that same natural cover when they want to defuse your spike. When planting a spike in safety, let's say your team pushes onto point and your team is there protecting you and they all can watch all the angles, you know you're not going to die. You have a huge range of options that can play into your positioning and make it really hard for enemies to defuse. Maybe placing it right in the middle of the map to where whoever has to defuse that could get peeked from many angles. That makes it very hard for them to defuse unless they clear out every single possible angle that you and your team are from, which is very difficult for them, especially if they're on a time crunch. Now moving on to the 5th and final tip that I have for you that's sure to help you start having more impact is, please, for the love of all things holy, Stop using all your money when your team is saving. Save rounds means that you give up your chance to win this round so that you reach the armor and assault rifle thresholds that can put you on a level playing field the next round, the following round. If you spend money on the best gun you can afford every round, you may end up in a perpetual unfair disadvantage. That being said, more importantly than saving up for the best setup is actually buying with your team. Tell me, what use does it do for your team if 3 players have the free pistol only and 2 characters have ops? You are setting yourself up for failure as an entire team, and even worse, you're gonna give the enemy your guns, which is free resources. You should definitely be saving for the thresholds as a team, but in a rush push or a team tactic, buying when your team buys is very important. Look up at your team. There's buttons to say we should save, we should buy. Try to coordinate, and if your team will not coordinate or you can't coordinate, buy when your teammates buy and don't buy when they don't buy. That way everyone's on the same playing field. And please, as well, as an additional tip, there is no point in buying full armor and all your utility in a save round if it means the following round you're not going to be able to afford armor, an assault rifle, and your utility as well. You need to understand what's important. You need to make sure that you don't waste all your money right off the bat so that you can have it to make those thresholds, like I said. This is a really important concept. I break it down more in my economic video if you want to check it out, but I really think I should include it here because this is a problem that is definitely plaguing a lot of people, and a lot of people are really confused about how economy matters, why it gives you advantage, and what does that mean for you. All that being said, if you like Valorant content, or if you think any one of these tips will help some of your teammates out so that you can have a little bit of an easier time, smash that subscribe button and share it with a buddy that ints in your games. Anyways, that's all I have for you today. I'm Coach Mills, and until next time.